Thanks for tuning in to the Auto Insider. I'm your host, Daryl Killian. It's our goal here on the Auto Insider to give you real-life examples and our impression of a vehicle as we use it through our day-to-day lives. So, if you're looking for things like how many cubic feet of space you have in the cargo area, feel free to visit any of the automakers' websites. All that information is there. And it's our goal to let you know what's new, what's hot, and what's not. So, if you want to know how to use a vehicle in your everyday life, stay tuned. If you need the details about 0 to 60 and how many feet it'll break in, there are plenty of sites for that. You won't find it here. Well, now that we've got that covered, let's talk about this 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe. For starters, there's been a bit of a refresh to the exterior styling. We'll go into detail about what's new on this 2021 Santa Fe.
And one of the first things we noticed is the grille has changed just slightly. It's a little bit wider, taking up most of the front end of the car, and there are a couple little clunky chrome pieces that have been removed. Gives it a more sleek appearance here on the front. And then these lights here are set a little bit further in, a little bit wider, changes the look a bit. And then there are these 19-inch wheels. There's also a 20-inch option available, but I think they're decent.
Aside from its striking profile, this Hyundai Santa Fe has a lot of things on the inside that caught our attention. This is the Calligraphy edition. It's loaded with all the premium option and premium touch points that you find in the Palisade, a much more expensive SUV in the Hyundai lineup. But this interior matches up with most of the SUVs I've seen on the road today, and it far exceeds some of its competitors. Well, let's go inside this Santa Fe and let's see where it really shines.
So for this Calligraphy edition, you get the quilted Napa leather seats here. The second row won't win any awards for any space. However, when you're back here, you do feel more like you're riding in a luxury SUV. You have 2 USB charging ports for your backseat passengers, and this is a great place for tweens. You have sunshades here. They're not power, but they do block out the sun. And you have heated second row outboard seats here. You have the suede or Alcantara-like headliner, and the seats are plenty comfortable, and there's plenty of room for young people. And speaking of kids, if you're considering an SUV, cargo area, space, and convenience are hugely important to you. So this Santa Fe does come with a power lift gate, also power release second row seats, and adequate storage space here for whatever you need. You even have the option of the 60/40 folding second row seats, and when it's necessary, you can fold both of these seats down flat into the floor when you have to make those big box runs and you're going to leave the kids behind. But for that everyday use, I love it when you can find a place here under the floor to put little things away that won't roll around and fall out when you open that tailgate. And there's plenty of storage here as well as a pump for when you have that flat tire at some point. But we went to the Home Depot, had to get a couple things. You don't want liquids like this falling over and spilling all through the car. Well, that cargo area under there is not carpeted, so it's well protected. So then when you have to go to the grocery store and the big box store, you get all those groceries in, and then there's still room here under the floor for all of this below the floor of the cargo area. When I talk about practicality, that's what I'm looking for when I'm thinking about an SUV. But now to the place where you'll spend most of your time as the owner of this Santa Fe Calligraphy edition. First off, the Calligraphy adds quilted leather seats, panoramic roof, all the driver assistance technology, blind spot warning, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, while still keeping the necessities that you buy an SUV for. Supportive seats, plenty of storage space for small items here. But I tell you, I still just cannot get over the fact that they put all this luxury into what we've always thought about as just a standard, I gotta have a midsize SUV, this will do. Yeah, this headliner, which is the Calligraphy special headliner, it's a suede-like material, but it looks good and it feels really good. It might sound weird, but it also adds a luxury smell to the interior. The soft points here on the dashboard, that leather on the dashboard is really soft and it gives you more of a luxury feel, something you'd expect for its much more expensive Palisade, the flagship of the SUVs for Hyundai. I might even go so far as to say I may not have expected this from anything less than a Genesis, but Hyundai does things differently, and you can see it here from this premium interior on this Santa Fe Calligraphy Edition. And when you slide this suede-like headliner back and open up this panoramic roof on the Palisade, it really lets a lot of light in and gives you a feel of a much larger SUV. And speaking of large, this 10.25-inch navigation with the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that I mentioned isn't the biggest in its class or the biggest that we've seen, but it does work well. It's a touch screen, so all those functions work well in Hyundai. I think Hyundai has done a really good job of making this a very intuitive system. But one of the things that I enjoy most about a system like this is redundant features that allow us to have knobs and controls when we don't want to reach up and touch that screen. Because let's face it, when we're in our normal driving position, it is a bit of a reach, a bit of a stretch to reach up and touch that screen and try to figure out how to navigate through it. So I like having these features down here that allow my hand to just fall right in place and control whatever needs to be controlled. And of course, this navigation screen doubles as the monitor for your rear view, side view, and 360 view cameras. Always great to have when you have little ones who might leave things around in the driveway. And as to be expected, we didn't necessarily love everything about this Santa Fe, like the push button shifter here for your transmission controls. It takes a bit of getting used to. I understand it's to create more space like this so families can put things away, but it takes a bit of getting used to. But it wasn't hard getting used to things like auto dimming headlights, your controls here on the steering wheel for your phone, your navigation, your lane keep assist, your smart cruise control, your rain sensing windshield wipers. Those things came in handy, and I got used to them pretty quickly. Again, the layout here for your redundant AC, radio controls, your different drive modes, heated and ventilated seats, great room for your cup holders, your USB charger, the wireless charger here for your smartphone. Would like to have seen a fast charger, but maybe on the 2022 model. And there's even a fair amount of storage here in the armrest. So, if you find yourself in the market for a midsize SUV, 5-passenger, you don't need a folding third row, but you do like a bit of the luxury that comes along from some of the highline vehicles, but you're not quite ready to go into that $50,000, $60,000 price range, technology is important to you, convenience, safety, then you should put this Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy on your wish list. Take a test drive. Let us know what you think about it. The 2021 Santa Fe Calligraphy is hot. And I almost forgot, you can even do this with this proximity key. I know. You can start many cars from the remote, but just hold on. When you're all done with work and play, you can put it away with the remote control. Look, Mom, no hands. And once it recognized that there was a difference in the surface here, safety brings it to a stop so you wouldn't run over anything or anybody. And there you have it. For a bargain price of $43,430, the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy Edition.